Hello, and thank you for watching this October 5th weather update, brought to you by Agrible, the makers of Morning Farm Report. My name is Eric Snodgrass, and I'm a senior atmospheric scientist and co-founder of Agrible. The last 7 days have had their fair share of extreme weather. The biggest story across the country has been the excessive rainfall in the southeast and along the east coast, especially in the Carolinas. This animation shows water vapor in the atmosphere as measured by satellite. In our last forecast video, I warned about the flooding potential along the east coast, as tropical moisture was forecast to surge north. Here we can see that on Sunday night, a nearly constant stream of saturated air flowing into the Carolinas. These bands of tropical moisture are often referred to as atmospheric rivers, and they work to transport moisture into the mid-latitudes out of the tropics. This particular band was the result of moisture being transported out of the atmosphere near Hurricane Joaquin and drawn into the upper level trough in the jet stream. The combination dropped more than 20 inches of rain in South Carolina. Flooded buildings, washed out roadways, and submerged cars can be found nearly everywhere in South Carolina right now. Well, here's a river gauge taken in the Congaree River in Columbia, South Carolina. Rivers in this area are setting all-time records for the depth of water above flood stage. This river in particular is over 20 feet above flood stage, and according to the forecast, it will take another 4 days before it is back below the action stage. Thankfully, Hurricane Joaquin, which reached Category 4 strength with 145-mile-per-hour winds, remained in the Atlantic and avoided a landfall in the United States. The Bahamas endured the full brunt of Joaquin as it slowly drifted southwest at the start of last week. It was this delay and lack of movement early that spared the United States from a landfall. Many feared that the upper-level low-pressure system in the southeastern part of the United States would pull Joaquin into the Carolinas over the weekend. Thankfully, Joaquin was pushed by the trough to the east and is now safely away from the United States. This satellite animation shows Joaquin's path through midday on October 1st. As of October 5th, Joaquin has passed Bermuda and is headed to the North Atlantic. Just to give you a glimpse into Joaquin's power, this video was shot on the Bahamas as Joaquin passed over. Well, while all of this was happening in the east, cooler weather and dry conditions prevailed across much of the Corn Belt. Harvest is in full swing as crops have had ample time to dry in fields. The only issue with this cooler weather is that nighttime temperatures have cooled enough to provide a heavy dew in some locations, which has slowed the bean harvest. This map shows the last 7 days of accumulated precipitation. While some rain did fall in parts of Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin, the past week had several days that were perfect for field work. However, Indiana and Ohio continually caught bands of rain associated with the tropical surges of moisture last week. Elsewhere, rain fell in the Sierra Nevada mountains last week, bringing much-needed precipitation to the drought-stricken west. However, focusing again on the southeast and the Carolinas, we can see that better than 6 inches of rain fell in a very large region, with many locations receiving much more. While this rain certainly ended the drought that had started there over the summer, the bigger question is whether it will dry out enough to allow peanuts and other crops to be harvested this fall. This animation shows the forecast by the GFS model run on Sunday afternoon for the next 7 days. Thankfully, the rain ends on Monday in the Carolinas, and the rain that is forecast to move through the Corn Belt late this week around Thursday isn't forecast to arrive in the southeast until Friday or Saturday. This will give this region about a week to dry out and recover from these historic rainfalls. Here is NOAA's 5-day precipitation outlook showing the same forecast. Widespread showers are forecast to move through the Corn Belt on Thursday as the next cold front advances. The heavy rains seen along the coastal Carolinas are the last rains of Sunday and Monday before drier weather moves in to start the week. In terms of temperature, until that cold front sweeps through the Midwest toward the end of the week, much of the United States will enjoy summer-like warmth. In the top panel are Monday afternoon temperatures, which climb back into the mid and upper 70s for a large part of the Corn Belt. Tuesday morning lows, shown in the bottom panel, stay quite a bit warmer than we saw last week. By Tuesday afternoon, 80s returned to the southern parts of the Corn Belt as upper 60s and lower 70s spread across the northern parts. Wednesday morning's low temperatures are again quite mild compared to last week, with only northern Minnesota, North Dakota, and Wisconsin seeing 30s for lows. Cooler temperatures do arrive Thursday afternoon through Friday, as a low-pressure system is forecast to track over the Great Lakes. Winds shift late in the week and introduce cooler air along with showers to the Corn Belt. However, forecast models are predicting another surge of warmer air after this front, starting next weekend into early next week. Here are the 8 to 14-day forecasts for temperatures and precipitation, which give us a glimpse into next week's weather. Drier and warmer conditions are forecast for most of the heartland to start next week. What is most important is that we are not forecasting another major precipitation event like we saw last week anywhere in the United States. Well, as we finish this video, I want to show you the precipitation anomaly forecast for the next 7 days in South America. Plenty of rain is forecast to fall in Brazil's southern growing regions, but rains are not forecast to return to Mato Grosso just yet. We will be keeping a close eye on these forecasts as planting in South America starts soon. As a quick reminder, statistically, El Niño conditions, like those we are experiencing now, favor good crop production in Brazil. Well, as always, we at Agrible will bring you the latest and best weather forecast information through our morning farm report so that you can efficiently plan your operations. We thank you for your attention and hope you look forward to our next weather video update. Thank you.